Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Kelly, Social Media Manager at the Toronto Real Estate Board.
And I'm Jason Mercer, the Toronto Real Estate Board Senior Manager of Market Analysis.
Now Jason, from my understanding, the market in the GTA performed quite well in April.
That's right.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
We had more than 9,800 sales through the Toronto MLS system in April, and this was down by about 2% in comparison to what we saw in April 2012. And so while transactions were still down on a year-over-year basis, it's important to note this result was quite a bit better than the year-over-year declines that we experienced through the first quarter of this year. And now it's important to note that really since the second half of 2012, the market has been facing some headwinds, especially as a result of the stricter mortgage lending guidelines that came into place. But what we're expecting to see, certainly through the spring and as we move into the second half of this year, is that some of those households that put their decision to purchase on hold will start moving back into the marketplace as they've reassessed their decision to purchase a home.
Now Jason, when I looked at the numbers, it looked like there was some positive news surrounding the condominium market in Toronto.
Absolutely. Condo transactions held up very well in the city of Toronto last month. They're down by only a little bit more than 1% in comparison to the same period last year. And so again, as we've seen a lot of households that initially took a bit of a step back last year, they're starting to take a harder look at home ownership again. And this is especially the case for the first-time buyer segment of the market, who oftentimes are pointed towards the condominium apartment segment, because we still are seeing the lowest prices on average for condominium apartments in comparison to the low-rise home types in the city. And it wasn't just good news on the sales front. We also saw good news in terms of pricing, where in the city of Toronto, we saw the average selling price for condominium apartments up by more than 5% in comparison to last year, which, if this trend continues, could be indicative of tightening market conditions as we move through the spring and into the second half of this year.
And condo price growth also added to the increase in price growth overall, correct?
That's right. If you look across all home types and all parts of the TREB market area, we saw an increase of about 2% on the whole. And so that saw the average selling price up to over $526,000 last month. And if we think about where we expect prices to go through the remainder of 2013, TREB is still forecasting an increase of about 3.5% overall, seeing the average price come in at about $515,000. And while this price growth will continue to be driven more so on the low-rise side of the market, we are expecting to see this gradual improvement in the condominium apartment segment come online as well in the second half of this year.
So April showers brings May flowers, and we're heading right into the heart of the spring market. We'll be back to report on that next month, but in the meantime, you can still connect with us on Twitter at TREBHome, as well as on Facebook, and have yourself a great month.